guys, so just gonna get right into it today, and this is the dry mesh review, the piece of mesh that comes free with the purchase of a Superpower Plus LE Peter Bomb edition. Now it comes with this actually kind of tucked into the head, as well as zip tied to the head so that it doesn't go anywhere. And then it has the mesh kind of hidden on the inside. It also has these two little tags of ACP and C channel attached to it. But what we're focusing on is the mesh. The dry mesh is what it's called. And before we get into my personal review, this is what STX says right on the packaging. It says, a piece of new STX Dry Mesh weather weave construction features independent strands of interlaced nylon and treated with a weatherproof coating, keeping the fibers dry and extending the life of the pocket. Now, upon first pulling this mesh out of the packaging, I was like, this could be okay. And then I figured I might as well string it since it was provided, and it wouldn't hurt to try and show people that you don't need to spend a couple extra bucks to get another piece of mesh that you would rather prefer. So I figured I would review it, check it out, make it known that, hey, maybe it's actually pretty good to actually just string up the mesh that's provided with it. Now, Warrior did the same sort of thing with their Paul Rabel edition of the Rabel 2X with the black. It was all black, had a signed ball with it, and then it had a piece of, I believe, what's called crystal mesh. Nice play on words there, guys. And it very similar, although I do like this dry mesh a little bit more because it is, in fact, a little bit softer. It's not so much like trying to break in hard mesh. You string it up and you go, basically, is how it went with me. I figured out my pattern after I did my top string, which the top string was actually very easy to do. It stretches nicely, especially for a universal head where it has a slightly wider scoop than just your strictly college legal head. So it stretched nicely, didn't have to work too hard to stretch it out. And then finding the pattern wasn't super difficult either. I mean, that was on part of the head, partially because of the head being so easy to string, but also because the mesh was able to stretch, as you can see. It was able to bunch. Feeling-wise, it is a little bit softer than some of your proprietary stuff. I'd say it's kind of like a nice middle ground, a little bit of a middle ground between String King S and X. Although the diamond sizes, I would have to say, is more like the old String King Type 1. It's your conventional 15mm size diamonds, so it's not so much of a conversion for you to try and use something else or do something else with the mesh. It has a decent amount of abrasion on the inside, so if you string it up the conventional way, where the rougher side's on the inside, you're going to have a decent amount of hold. Ball's going to get in there. It doesn't bag out. At least it hasn't bagged out after about 2 weeks of using it. And I've submerged it completely in water. I played with it in the rain for a quick second, and it still performed very much the same. It does have a little bit of a bagginess to it. Wherever you string it, it's going to form there, and then it's going to kind of bag to either the front or the back. You can get decent channels with it. Obviously, I just rolled the ball out, but you can get decent channels with it. You're not going to have to worry about the strings kind of tearing through it super soon or anything like that. I strung up about a mid pocket in this, and then it shifts high, but because of that, you would think that it would have a lot more whip. But with how the mesh is, I guess you could say, designed, it comes out a lot smoother than I expected. So I'm able to have that slightly higher pocket that I'm usually using, and it comes out nice and smooth, no trouble, nothing at all. And I really enjoy it. For a piece of mesh that comes with a head, I would recommend stringing it up before going off and spending 30 bucks on a new piece of mesh and new strings. So it doesn't come with actual strings, it just comes with the mesh. And for a piece of free mesh, I don't hate it. It's definitely something worth putting in, say, their beginner heads. It's worth putting this mesh into something that somebody that doesn't know how to string very well. Put it in beginner sticks, so the Stallion 100s or anything else that STX wants to have pre-strung. I would honestly say this would be a much better improvement than what's been used in the past. So, STX Dry Mesh, you get my kudos. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down a second. The video ain't over. If you thought it was, you thought wrong. Alright, so, Superpower Plus is gutted. It is gutted. What happened? You know what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen. Yes, I'm going to be throwing a traditional in this Superpower Plus LE Peter Baum edition. I can't wait to show you guys what this is going to look like, because it's going to be a pocket that I haven't done in a while, as well as we're going to be messing around with the construction of this head in order to use a traditional. Hopefully it ends up turning out pretty sweet, and like you guys saw, using gray, really dark gray leathers to do this. So hopefully it turns out pretty sweet. Either way, I'm going to be using it, so check back in a little bit. Maybe about this time next week, maybe, we're going to have another video with a traditional in a Superpower Plus. So, finally, video's over. Catch you guys later.